My girlfriend looked at me and said, "I need some distance. Do not contact me for a little while." Then she went online and posted pictures from a vacation with her ex-boyfriend. I did exactly what she asked. I respected her wishes. I changed the locks on the door and sold the car she drives, which happens to be in my name. When she came back from her trip, her key did not open the door, and her parking spot was completely empty. Here is the original post. My name is Mike, and I am 32 years old. I guess I should start from the beginning. To be honest, this still hurts a bit. About 3 weeks ago, my girlfriend, Jessica, who is 29, sent me a text message that destroyed everything. We had been together for almost 2 years and had lived together in my apartment for the last year. Things seemed fine. Maybe we were a little distant lately, but I did not think it was a big deal. The text arrived on a random Tuesday evening while I was cooking dinner. It said, "Mike, things feel complicated right now. I really need some space to think and figure things out. Please do not contact me for a while. I will reach out to you when I am ready." That felt like a punch to the gut. Asking for space is never a good sign, but I tried to be the understanding boyfriend. I texted back. "Okay, Jessica, I understand. Take the time you need." After that, I heard nothing. It was total radio silence, just like she asked for. So, I respected it. I walked around the apartment for a few days, feeling confused and hurt, wondering what she meant by complicated. Work was the only thing that distracted me. Then, Friday night arrived. I was bored and scrolling through Instagram. Suddenly, there it was. A friend we both know had tagged Jessica in a photo. The pictures showed bright sunshine, a beach, and cocktails. Jessica looked ridiculously happy. She was standing arm in arm with Kyle, her ex-boyfriend. He is 30 years old, and she swore he was ancient history. The caption said something like, "Living our best lives. Island getaway. Reunited." My blood ran cold. Space to think actually meant a tropical vacation with her ex-boyfriend while telling me not to contact her. The hurt turned into something else. It became a cold, hard clarity. She did not just want space, she wanted me out of the way while she test drove her old relationship. She was keeping me as a backup plan in my own apartment, using my resources, all while explicitly telling me to leave her alone. Okay, fine. You want space. You want no contact. Granted. On Saturday morning, the first thing I did was deal with the locks. I called a locksmith. I changed the deadbolt and the knob lock on my apartment door. It cost about $250, but it was worth every penny for the peace of mind. Her key was now useless. Then there was the car. This needs some context. About 6 months ago, Jessica's old car finally died. She needed a reliable vehicle for her job in social media marketing because she has a lot of client meetings. Her credit score was not great, so I agreed to help. I bought a used but very decent Honda CR-V for maybe $18,000. Crucially, the loan, the title, and the insurance are all solely in my name. The understanding was that she would make the payments to me, which she mostly did. It was her car to use, but legally, it was 100% mine. I never added her to the title or the insurance. She treated it like hers and even decorated it with fluffy dice. I took the spare key, which I always kept. I drove the car to a trusted dealership nearby that buys used cars. I explained the situation briefly. I told them I was the registered owner and needed to sell. They gave it a quick look and offered an initial fair market estimate of around $16,500, pending a full inspection and a title check. I agreed to proceed and signed the initial paperwork to start the process. They said it would take a few business days to complete the inspection, finalize the offer, and handle the title transfer. I left the car there and took a rideshare home. Her designated parking spot at the apartment complex was empty. I did not touch her personal belongings yet. They are still in the closet in the spare room. I am not throwing them out. That feels petty. However, she was not getting back into my apartment without talking to me, and she explicitly requested that we do not talk. I felt strangely calm. It felt like performing necessary surgery. Was I hurt? Yeah, deep down. I felt like a total idiot. But anger was not the main driver. It was logic. She asked for space and no contact. She demonstrated the relationship was over by going on vacation with her ex. I was simply respecting her request and protecting my assets and my home. Now, I wait. According to Instagram, the best life vacation lasts another week. Let us see what happens when she gets back and her key does not work. Update number 1. Well, she is back. It is showtime. It happened last Tuesday evening around 9 o'clock at night. I was just watching some television, trying to ignore the knot in my stomach. I heard keys jangling outside the door. Then came the sound of a key scraping in the lock. There was silence, then more scraping, which sounded frantic now. Then the pounding started. Knock, knock, knock. Mike. What is going on? Open the door. It was Jessica's voice. She sounded annoyed, but not panicked yet. I took a deep breath. I opened the door just a crack, keeping the chain locked on the inside. She was standing there with a suitcase beside her. She looked tanned and upset. My key is not working, she said. Did something happen to the lock? No, I said in a calm voice. I changed them. She blinked, confused. You what? Why would you do that? You asked for space and no contact, Jessica, I replied. I gave it to you permanently. What are you talking about? She asked. I just needed some time. You cannot just lock me out. I saw the vacation photos with Kyle, I said flatly. It looks like you figured things out. Her face went from annoyed to furious, with a flash of panic in her eyes. That was just a trip, she stammered. It did not mean anything. We are friends. I raised an eyebrow. Friends who go on romantic island getaways while asking their current boyfriend for space. Got it. Mike, do not be ridiculous, she snapped. Let me in. My stuff is in there. Where is my car? Her eyes darted to the empty parking spot. Where is my car, Mike? The entitlement was radiating off her. She had this sheer assumption that everything would just be waiting for her. Firstly, it is my apartment, I said. Secondly, it was never your car. It is my car, legally in my name. I am selling it. It is at the dealership right now. Her jaw dropped. You are selling it? You cannot do that. I paid for that car. You made payments to me towards its use, Jessica, I corrected her. You did not buy it. The title and the loan are in my name. The sale process has started. This is insane, she yelled. You are stealing from me. I am calling the cops. She actually pulled out her phone. I just shrugged. Go ahead, I said. Call them. Explain that your ex-boyfriend changed the locks on his own apartment after you asked for no contact and went on vacation with another ex. Explain that he is selling his own car, which is titled and registered solely in his name. Let me know how that goes. She hesitated with the phone halfway to her ear. Then her expression turned venomous. Mike, you horrible person, she spat. You planned this. You planned a vacation with your ex and asked me for silence, I shot back. I respected your wishes and dealt with the consequences. You do not get to keep me on standby in my own home. Suddenly, another voice piped up. It was her sister, Ashley. She is 26. She must have been waiting in the car downstairs, but she came marching up the walkway now. Ashley! Jessica cried, turning on the waterworks immediately. Mike, why is she locked out? He changed the locks, Jessica sobbed. He is selling my car. He is throwing me out. Ashley turned on me. Are you serious? After everything she has done for you, you just kick her out and sell her things? It is my apartment, Ashley, I said firmly. And it was my car. She asked for no contact and went on vacation with Kyle. Check her Instagram. We are done here. She needed space, Ashley argued. You are supposed to support her, not punish her. Support her cheating on me? I asked. No thanks. She made her choice. Now she can live with it. Jessica started demanding her stuff right then and there. It was 9 o'clock at night. Not happening tonight, I told her. You can arrange a time to pick up your belongings. Send me a text with a date and time. I will have them boxed up near the door. You will not be coming inside further than the entryway. You cannot dictate to me, she started. I can, I interrupted. My apartment. My rules. You wanted no contact. This is the new contact arrangement. Text me a time. Goodbye. I closed the door and locked the deadbolt. My hands were shaking slightly. It was a mix of adrenaline, anger, and residual hurt, but mostly relief. It was done. The confrontation was over for now. I heard them outside for another 5 minutes. Jessica was yelling, and Ashley was trying to calm her down while probably fueling the fire. Then they finally left. A couple of hours later, I got a text message. It was not from Jessica, it was from Ashley's phone. Jessica needs her things tomorrow at 10 in the morning. Be ready. There was no please and no thank you. It was just a pure demand. I replied with one word, okay. I spent the next few hours boxing up Jessica's clothes, toiletries, books, knickknacks, and everything else I could find. I piled it all near the door. It felt cleansing. The dealership called later that week, maybe on Thursday. They said the inspection was done. The final offer was firm at $16,350. There was a slight adjustment for tire wear. I went down there on Friday afternoon. I signed the final title transfer documents, and they handed me the check. I deposited it immediately. It felt like closing a very expensive, emotionally draining chapter. I was waiting to see what the pickup day would look like. I was expecting more drama. Update number 2: the last week has been something else. The entitlement levels just keep rising. It is almost impressive. The pickup was set for 10 o'clock in the morning on the dot. It was on a Wednesday, just as we scheduled in the previous update. There was a knock at the door. It was not Jessica. It was Ashley and their mother, Susan. Jessica was waiting in the car, apparently too distraught to face me. Right. Susan immediately launched into it. She had tears in her eyes. I suspect they were crocodile tears. Mike, Susan said. How could you do this to her? After 2 years. She loves you. Apparently, she did not love me enough to avoid vacationing with her ex-boyfriend while asking me for space, I replied. It was a mistake, Susan insisted. She was confused. You should forgive her. And selling her car? That was cruel. She needs that vehicle for work. It was my car, Susan, I said firmly. It was legally mine. Her confusion led her to betray our relationship. Actions have consequences. The car is sold. I opened the door wider to show the boxes piled in the entryway. Here is her stuff, I said. Take it all. Make sure you get everything because this is the only chance. Susan sniffed disdainfully. We will need to check the closets and the bathroom. Nope, I said. You can take what is here in the entryway. I packed everything I could find. You are not coming further into my apartment. Do not be unreasonable, Mike, she argued. What if you missed something? Then it is unfortunate, I told her. You can stand here. I will stand here. Take the boxes. That is the deal. They clearly wanted to push past me. Maybe they wanted to argue more, or maybe they wanted to find something valuable of Jessica's that they could claim I kept. It was not happening. They muttered under their breath, but they started hauling the boxes out. It took them 3 trips. All the while, Susan kept up a monologue about how heartless I was, how Jessica was devastated, and how I owed her compensation for the car. I just stood there. I did not engage much. I just repeated, it was my car. And I ended the conversation like a broken record. Once they left, the text messages started. They were mostly from Jessica now. She was alternating between tearful apologies and furious demands. One text would say, I miss you. I made a huge mistake. Please take me back. The next would scream, you owe me for the car. That was my money. I will take you to small claims court. I ignored the emotional texts. For the financial demands, I sent one reply. Jessica, the car was legally mine. The title, the loan, and the insurance were all in my name. Your contributions were towards usage for the period you used it. Consider it rent. No further discussion. Then I blocked her number. I blocked Ashley. I blocked Susan. But it did not stop there. Suddenly, some mutual friends started hitting me up. These were people I knew mostly through Jessica. Their tone was accusatory. Dude, I heard what you did to Jessica. It is kind of messed up selling her car like that. That is cold. She was clearly spinning a sob story. She was painting me as the villain who randomly kicked her out and took her car out of spite. She was conveniently leaving out the vacation with Kyle. I am sure of that. I briefly explained the situation to a couple of them who I thought might be reasonable. I mentioned her text, the vacation with her ex, and the fact that the car was legally mine. The results were mixed. Some people got it, but some clearly bought her narrative. Whatever. People believe what they want. Then came a dirty trick attempt. I received a call from my landlord's office yesterday. Apparently, they received an anonymous complaint about recent disturbances and loud arguments coming from the vicinity of my unit. The complaint claimed there was shouting and concern about confrontations. My blood ran cold for a second. This felt calculated. They were trying to get me in trouble with my housing. Thankfully, I have a decent relationship with the building manager. I calmly explained the situation. I told him my ex-girlfriend, who is living here but not on the lease, recently moved out after a breakup. I explained there was a brief loud argument outside my door when she discovered I changed the locks following her request for no contact and her subsequent actions. I also mentioned her family was here briefly for a supervised pickup of her belongings. I assured him there have been no disturbances inside my unit and that she is no longer residing here. The manager seemed to understand. He said they would note it down, but unless there were further verifiable complaints or actual disturbances, it would not go anywhere. I am pretty sure it was Jessica or Ashley trying to cause trouble. That was a low blow. Then there was the X factor. I got a message request on Instagram from Kyle. I did not open it. I just deleted the request and blocked him. I do not need or want to hear anything from him. He was probably gloating or trying to stir the pot. Honestly, my response to all this entitlement and their dirty tricks just solidifies my decision. They are not making me feel guilty. They are making me feel justified. This is not just a mistake Jessica made. This is who she is. It is also who her enablers, Ashley and Susan, are. The revenge is not some grand scheme. It is just me letting them crash against the wall of reality. The apartment is secure. The lease is solely mine. The complaint went nowhere. The car is sold. The money is in my account, and it is legally airtight. Her stuff is gone. Communication is blocked on all channels. Any future attempts at contact, especially threats, will go straight to a lawyer for a cease and desist order. I already consulted a lawyer briefly just to be safe. They confirmed my position on the car and the apartment is solid. The constant demands, the victim narrative, and the attempt to mess with my housing are disappointing. They genuinely believe they can bully and manipulate their way back into the comfortable setup Jessica blew up. News flash. It does not work that way. Now, I am just focusing on cleaning up the mess emotionally. It is tough to realize the person you lived with and cared about is capable of this level of deceit and entitlement, but it is better to know now. Final update: it has been about 2 months since Jessica came back from her little space-seeking trip with Kyle. Things have settled down, mostly because I refused to engage with the drama after that last update. I wanted to share the final resolution. The smear campaign continued for a bit. I lost a few superficial mutual friends who bought Jessica's sob story. Honestly, good riddance. Anyone who takes her side without hearing the full story is not someone I need in my life anyway. My real friends, the ones who knew me before Jessica, were solid. They heard my side, saw the blatant disrespect, and supported me 100%. Jessica apparently tried to escalate things legally, sort of. I got a vaguely threatening letter from some budget lawyer she must have scraped funds together to hire. He was demanding $10,000 for the value of her contributions to the car and for emotional distress. It was full of typos and legal nonsense. My response was simple. The lawyer I consulted sent back a very formal, very concise letter. It included copies of the car title, the loan agreement, and the insurance policy, which were all solely in my name. We included a reminder that her contributions were for usage and depreciation during the time she drove it. It was essentially rent. We pointed out that she actually owed money if we calculated it per mile based on standard rates. That was a bluff, but it made the point. We also included a copy of her original text message where she said, "I need space, do not contact me." We included screen grabs of the vacation photos with Kyle, complete with timestamps. Finally, we included a warning that any further unsubstantiated claims or harassment would result in me seeking legal fees and filing for a restraining order based on her previous attempts to cause issues with my landlord. There was total silence after that. Her budget lawyer probably told her she had zero case and dropped her. Paying for a real legal battle was never an option for her, especially without my financial backing. I heard what happened next through the grapevine. A friend of mine still has minimal contact with one of Jessica's less intense friends. Jessica crashed with Ashley for a while. Apparently, that caused massive friction because Jessica expected Ashley to basically fund her life, and she did not lift a finger to help. Shocking. As for Kyle, he predictably vanished once the vacation was over and reality set in. He was not interested in supporting her or dealing with her drama long term. He got his fun trip. End of story. She apparently tried guilt-tripping her parents, Susan and her dad, for money. She probably had some success, but they could not bankroll her old lifestyle indefinitely. The last I heard, she had to move back to her hometown to live with her parents again. She is apparently complaining constantly about how unfair life is and how I ruined everything for her. She has zero self-awareness and zero remorse. It is just pure, uncut entitlement and a victim mentality. The best part is the sweet, sweet sound of silence. No more demands, no more drama, no more Jessica. My apartment feels like mine again. I actually repainted the living room last weekend. I got rid of some of the furniture she picked out. Reclaiming the space feels good. The revenge was not loud or explosive. It was quiet and methodical. It was simply respecting her request for no contact and letting the logical consequences of her actions play out fully. She asked for distance. Well, she received an unlimited supply of it. She decided a quick romance with her ex-boyfriend was more important. Now, she has to handle the aftermath all by herself. She assumed my support, my apartment, and that car were guaranteed. She lost all of that the exact moment she shattered the trust that held it all together. I have to admit, selling the vehicle she believed belonged to her felt really good. That car was her status symbol, and she relied on it while she was out there tanning on a beach with another man. I am not going to lie, that was truly satisfying. Seeing that parking spot completely empty when she returned was perfect. That was the consequence of her actions hitting her hard and right where she could see it. She lost more than just a boyfriend. She lost the easy lifestyle she thought she was entitled to. It was a lifestyle that I was paying for. Did it hurt me emotionally? Yes. It took some time to work through the betrayal. However, I dealt with it using logic. I protected myself, and I refused to let her walk all over me. She thought she could play mind games and keep me waiting on the side. She made a very bad calculation there. She had to face the direct and unavoidable results of the choices she made. Her sense of entitlement could not protect her from that. That is the best outcome I could have hoped for. Good riddance to Jessica. It is time for me to really move on with my life.